Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to CIMB Security Corporate Talk. Today, it's an honor to have Kun Khalid from Precious Shipping, to share with us his insight into Precious Shipping and the outlook of the industry. สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
May I ask you, the first basic information about Precious Shipping first, so that as some investor may not be very familiar with the current status of the company.
Okay, so Precious Shipping was formed in 1987. We first started buying ships then. In 1989, we formed Precious Shipping Limited, and in March 1991, we started commercial operations in Precious Shipping. In 1993, we took the company public, and on the 16th of September was the first day of trading. Now, since the time that we've been a public company, we have only ever done two rights issues. One right issue was done in 1995, where we just wanted to dilute the number of shares, but not dilute the shareholders. And then we did another rights issue in the middle of 2015, when we raised another $65 million. So that's the background of Precious Shipping. And we currently have 36 ships with us. The average age of our ships is only 5.25 years old, and the average size is about 45,000 tons per ship.
And now you will take one more ships?
No more ships.
No more
that's
ships.
It. 36 ships. That's it.
And you don't, plan to?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. We would like to wait. We think that the markets the BDI will continue to strengthen during 2018-19, and maybe have a very sharp upward direction movement in 2020 because of certain regulatory supply side issues that will come up during that year. And as a result, ship owners will again start to order ships in, say, maybe in the end of 2018, and those ships will start to deliver in maybe 2021, and then the markets will come down in maybe 2021 or 22. In the meantime, in 20, we will try to lock up on long-term contracts all our ships, so that we can have good earnings during the recessionary period, and at the same time we can have strong cash flows which we can invest in buying ships at a cheap price.
Right. And you mentioned earlier about the change in the regulatory requirements regarding the scrubber and also the ballast water management. Can you please give us a little bit more detail?
Sure. So as far as ballast water management is concerned, this is a law that was supposed to come into force on the 7th of September this year, but the IMO, in its wisdom, decided that they want to delay it by 2 years to the 7th of September 2019. Now, having said that, if any of your ships go to America, they really don't care about the IMO regulations. They say you have to be compliant, others don't come here. So really, all our ships are compliant as far as the ballast water management system is concerned, and all of them can trade in America even today. The second regulatory environment which will come into force on the 1st of January 2020 is what is known as the Clean Air Act. It basically means you can only burn sulfur, can burn fuel oil which has a sulfur content of less than 0.5%. Currently, sulfur in fuel oil is at 3.5%. Now, this high sulfur fuel oil that we burn in our ships leads to acid rain. It leads to particulate matter coming out, and it leads to health issues for people who live near the shoreline. So the whole world, the population in the whole world is quite upset. And though they don't realize that shipping is a super efficient method of transportation of goods and costs today less than what it cost in 1970, they still think that we are polluting the environment. And as a result, they want us to reduce this on the 1st of January 2020 and come down to burn sulfur fuel oil with a sulfur content of less than 0.5%. There are two methods of doing this. One is, of course, burn clean oil, which means that your engine has to be modified for three areas. Firstly, the fuel oil has to have the same viscosity. The clean oil has to have the same viscosity as dirty oil. So you need to fit a chiller system, which may cost you about $100,000 per ship. All our ships are fitted with that. The second thing you need to do is to increase the cooling of the main engine, because the clean oil burns at roughly 200 degrees Celsius higher than dirty oil. Therefore, the cooling systems which are there right now around the engine will not be good enough. They'll need to be improved. So you'll have to spend some money on increasing the cooling systems. And the third thing is that the lubrication effect of the clean oil is very poor. You need to change the current lubricants that you use and use more and better quality and improved lubricants for the engine. Now that will all add to a little bit of cost, but you can use that and burn clean oil, and therefore you can be compliant as of the 1st of January 2020 without having to invest in very expensive scrubber equipment. Now that's the second alternative. You burn dirty oil, but you use a scrubber system to clean the exhaust gas such that the environment feels that your engine is burning very clean oil. Now that's the two alternatives that you have. The second alternative requires a $6 million capital investment and requires the ship to be in the dry dock and undergoing downtime for about 4 months. So it's a very expensive solution. It's not an easy solution. And more or less the entire shipping world feels that they will go and burn clean oil in the first year. Now, when both this ballast water management system and the Clean Air Act come into force on the 1st of January 2020, ships that are older than 15 years of age will find it very difficult to comply with these two regulatory environments. So the choice for those ships and ship owners is simply to try to scrap those ships, because the cost of ballast water management and scrubber systems would be about $7 million, would require the ship to be out of service for 5 months, and these ships are not even worth $7 million. So for them to invest $7 million on a ship which is less than $7 million makes little or no sense. And currently we forecast that as of the 1st of January 2020, there will be approximately 143 million deadweight tons of ships which will be over 15 years of age, or roughly 17% of the world population of dry bulk ships.
So the supply of your ships may actually shrink in 2020?
That's right. So you might have a very strong lowering of the supply side just because of these two regulatory environments coming into force.
And you mentioned earlier the two alternatives to meet the regulatory requirement on the scrubber. But it seems that the first alternative cannot be used permanently.
That's right. You can't burn clean oil permanently on an engine designed to burn dirty oil. So you can burn it for a little while, let's say for the first year. Now when you do that, the client has to pay for the cost of oil, and clients, as you know, in today's world, nobody wants to pay anything extra for anything. So I'm sure that they will try to slow down the speed of the ships to reduce the consumption of clean oil. Now when they do that, they will also automatically remove 17% of the world's supply just by slow steaming. So two impacts will be there from the regulatory side. One is, of course, the older ships will be scrapped earlier. And secondly is that the younger ships which are burning clean oil will start to slow down quite significantly, and that will also help to lower the supply side. So you have a double impact coming in 2020.
And if one is to order a new ship today, would it be in time to get it into the sea by 2020?
If you order it today, yes, you could get it by 2020. But we think that the order book as of now is not very high, and people are not ordering because to order ships now also you need money, and there's very little money left with the ship owners. Remember, we've had a very difficult downtime since the global financial crisis. That's the end of 2008. So almost 9-10 years of very tough times. So I don't think many people have any cash lying around.
I see. And what's PSL strategy to cope with this new regulation?
So to cope with this new regulation, we already took a lot of actions in the past. What did we do? Starting in Q4 2015 up to Q1 2016. So in 6 quarters, what did we do? We reduced our fleet by 1/3. What did we do with those ships? We sent them for recycling. Now when you recycle ships, they're permanently gone from the supply side. If every ship owner in the world had done that, the market today would be stronger than it was in 2008, because 33% of the world fleet would have gone just like we did. But most ship owners are not that responsible. So we already took that one action. So we had a fleet which was quite old. Now we have a fleet which is very young. Second thing we did was that we got rid of all the smaller ships that we had. Now we have larger ships. So our average size in the past was around 25,000 tons. Today is 45,000 tons. So that's the second change that we've got. The third change we got is that all the ships that we have today, the 36 ships, all of them are in compliance with the Ballast Water Management Act. So we've already passed one regulatory hurdle. Then comes a second regulatory hurdle, which is clean oil, burning clean oil. Again, as I said, all our ships are already fitted with chillers. They're already fitted with better cooling systems around the main engine because of the higher temperatures burnt whenever we burn clean oil. And they also have better lubrication oil that we are already using. So we are already in compliance of the Clean Air Act when we go to places like America, Europe, the continent, the Baltic Sea, where these are all known as what is known as special emissions control areas, where you can only burn clean oil or oil that has got less than 0.5% sulfur content.
I see. So it seems that 2020 would be a very good year for shipping industry because of the possible decline in the supply. But if we look just into 2018 and 19, what would you think would be the industry outlook during that years?
Right. So if you look at what the pundits in the industry are saying, they say that 17 will be better than 16, and that we can look at our 9 months numbers and you can see clearly it is better than the whole of last year. So definitely it should be better for the whole year. Then the question comes of the next year, that is 2018. According again to the shipping pundits, they feel 18 will be stronger than 17. And similarly, they say 19 will be stronger than 18. Why do they say that? They say that because in 18, the new supply coming in is much less than the supply that has come in 2017. Some scrapping will always take place, some minimal scrapping will always take place. So if that happens, then the supply side will grow by a very small amount, the smallest amount that it has grown by in many years. So it will grow by about 1% in 2018.
I see.
As against 3% that is growing in 2017. So there is a big gap in the supply side actually slowing down. In 2019, we suspect if no new ships are ordered for delivery and are delivered in 2019, only what is already there in the order book, if no new supply comes in, then 19 could be a negative growth year. Could be marginally negative growth.
But then
for
even
supply.
In 2020, it will be even bigger negative.
Yes, for 2020, I'm confident there will be a negative growth because of the two regulatory environments coming into force together, either through slow steaming or through a combination of slow steaming and scrapping of older ships. So these are the supply side. And on the demand side, this year's demand, according to Clarkson's and other big brokers, is that it should grow by about 4.67%. And next year should be at least at 3.5%, and the year after again at about that much level. So if you look at it from terms of pure demand supply, 3.5% demand growth, against that a supply of 1%, and the next year a growth of 2.5% with no increase in supply or maybe negative increase in supply. So therefore they all claim that 18 will be stronger than 17, 19 will be stronger than 18, and then 20, as I said, should be a good year.
I see. Okay, I think it's quite clear. Thank you very much, Kun Khalid, for giving us a lot of information on the industry and on shipping, on future shipping. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.